upon a time, there lived a girl named Nmasi. Nmasi was a very beautiful girl with a melodious voice. She loved singing and could sing all day, forgetting about food. The villagers loved her so much, as she was a breath of fresh air. But she had this flaw that puts people off sometimes. Mercy was so impatient, and this attitude of hers made her lose friends. Each time she was sent on an errand, her mother would be worried about her, as her impatient nature might put her into trouble. Other village girls who were jealous of Mercy gossiped about her. Suitors came from the village and the neighboring villages to ask for her hand in marriage, but none was able to marry her due to her impatient nature. One day, while she was coming back from the farm, singing happily, she met with Ahanna, the prince, who was overwhelmed by her beauty and melodious voice. He then offered to accompany her home, and from that day they became friends. The prince grew to love Mercy, and so he made her his wife. Prince Ahanna was loved by his entire kingdom for being kind and just. But his wife Mercy was greatly despised, as she was extremely rude and impatient. Most times, Mercy's impatience would ruin the peace in the palace, and poor Prince Ahanna would without hesitation try to recover the situation. Prince Ahanna loved Mercy so much and wondered how to make his wife understand to be patient. One day he roamed about, pondering deeply about Mercy. He thought to himself that Mercy was kinder and nicer when he first met her. Though she was impatient, but it's getting worse now, and she seemed to be meaner. Mercy would ask the palace maids questions and get angry when they answer her questions. This went on until the prince was crowned the king and Mercy the queen. Mercy's attitude towards the villagers worsened. None of the villagers loved Mercy the queen, and so they disrespected her and behaved as though she does not exist. The king could not bear it and decided to seek solution from the village seer. The seer then told the king that his wife was bewitched by a witch who wanted her daughter to marry the prince so she could rule the people. The seer told the king that though his wife is impatient, but she's a nice person and the witch had used her weakness against her. And thus she had been under the witch spell all these years. The witch did all this, hoping that Ahanna would marry another wife, which would be her daughter Omalicha. The king then asked the seer how he could break the spell, and the seer told him that no one could break the spell except the queen herself. And the spell she must break by learning to persevere. The king thanked the seer and then thought of how he could help the queen. And so he remembered she loved cats, and if she could care for a kitten, maybe she would grow patient and break the spell. So the king got the queen a kitten, and she was so happy and gave it to her maids to care for. The maids, who never liked the queen, did not care so well for the kitten, and this got the queen angry, and she took the responsibility of caring for the kitten herself. She cared for the kitten, and as she cared and watched the kitten go through its stage of growth, she grew to be more patient and happy. The witch tried to use her powers to make Nmasi hate the kitten, but Nmasi's love for the kitten was so strong that she could not get angry at the kitten. Being patient with the kitten turned her to be patient with others too. She was now patient with the maids and guards in the palace. Everyone began to notice the change in her, and they started to love her. Soon, the spell suddenly wore off, and the queen apologized to the king about what had happened. The king, who does not want to tell her about the spell, told her not to worry herself, as they are all in the past now. The village became a happy place again. Nmasi recovered and was known to be the most patient of all. The king was very happy to see his wife in this light again. The witch, who could not bear this, tried to manipulate the villagers against the queen, and the king banished her so she could not trouble the village again. Nmasi's story taught everyone how patience is a great value and can bring about a huge change if one just learns to appreciate time and people.